Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about concealed carrying in a fanny pack. I've been concealed carrying in a fanny pack for the past couple of years in certain situations, and we'll talk about that. When would you want to conceal in a fanny pack? What are the limitations? What are your options? And some things to consider. Most important thing for me concealed carrying is making sure that the gun is going to be supported. What matters with that is having a sturdy belt. So a lot of times there's clothing I'm wearing that can't support that kind of gun belt to support a full-size handgun and the traditional inside the waistband method. So I turn to fanny pack carry in those situations. Probably the biggest scenario, the most common scenario that I encounter is in the summertime in Louisiana. It's very hot. A lot of times I'm wearing gym clothing, so gym shorts and a gym shirt, and those gym shorts aren't strong enough and don't have enough supportive material to support a gun belt and a weapon inside the waistband. Being in South Louisiana, being it's so hot all the time and you basically sweating the second you walk outside, I was looking for an alternative way to carry. So stumbled upon fanny carry and kind of worked my way through different methods in the past couple of years, and here to share that with you today. Another belief I have is probably a self-limiting belief, is that I have to be wearing certain types of clothes to carry the way that I want to, and there's only so many pairs of pants and so many pairs of shorts that I have where the belt that I use, I only have one carry belt. I should probably get some more. One carry belt works with those shorts and those pants, so if I'm not wearing that, or the situation dictates something else, or I don't feel like changing and I'm just running to the store real quick or running to the gym, then I will tend to just carry in a fanny pack. Now we'll talk about your options to carry in a fanny pack. There's plenty of manufacturers nowadays making fanny pack. I feel like they're making a comeback, but the ones I have experience with are the Spirited Systems fanny. I started out with that one. Then I was carrying around a camouflage fanny pack and thought that stuck out too much, even though M81's kind of around in modern fashion anyway. Then I started moving to the Lululemon fanny pack because very popular active brand right now with males and females, so kind of fit in a little more in public. Want to draw attention to, I think there's a gun in that fanny pack. That one wasn't really working out for me. We'll talk about why here in a second. So I found the Everly stock fanny, been carrying that for the past few months, and it's working out really well for me as of now. There's other brands out there like Vertex that make their own fanny, but these are just the ones I've had my own personal experience with. The biggest limitation that you're going to find with fanny pack carry is your draw time. Normally, every other time that I'm carrying a handgun, I just carry appendix. Personally, I think for just general concealed carry, that's the best way to carry. If you can do it, it's the fastest draw times and you'll be the quickest to your gun. Yeah, we can play the what if game and think of scenarios where another position like forelock or ankle carry will be better. But I think for most situations, appendix carry is going to be your best bet. Now, draw time wise, a couple years ago on Instagram, the sub-second draw out of appendix was kind of the hot thing to do. So we know that draw times around a second are completely possible with appendix carry. With fanny pack carry, your draw time is going to start to move into that 3 to 4 second range, because not only we're having to feed just a shirt or a garment, a jacket, whatever they may be, now we're having to unzip that fanny to access that firearm. There are some security considerations as well. If you're carrying a fanny pack and your shirt's tucked in or the strap is visible, someone could theoretically come up behind you and unbuckle the fanny pack. These limitations really depend on your situational awareness. So your draw time, hopefully you already are aware of what's going on around in your situation, in your immediate area, and you can recognize a threat before you get caught off guard and have to draw your handgun reactively. So that will help you out with the fanny pack carry. And then, that's a very far-fetched situation, hopefully, where somebody could come up behind you and just unbuckle your fanny pack and take your gun from you. Hopefully you have better situational awareness than that. Yeah, if you do that, if that happens to you, you probably shouldn't be carrying a gun anyway. Another limitation of fanny pack carry is if you got into hand-to-hand altercation for some reason, which again reverts back to draw time. So if you're working with somebody on top of you, then that's one more thing you got to do to get to your gun, is to defeat that zipper and pull that gun out. So very increased draw time, and probably not the most ideal situation if you're grappling with somebody hand-to-hand wise while carrying in a fanny. When you go to carry in a fanny pack, I would highly recommend for any concealed carry is to have a loaded gun while you're carrying. If for some reason we have to draw on a threat that is an immediate threat, you're going to want to have a round already in the chamber. There are plenty of self-defense videos out there, probably from Brazil, where a person has drawn and their gun's not loaded and they don't have enough time to rack it around in the chamber, and now they're dead. So same thing applies for fanny pack carry. Even though I'm carrying in a fanny pack, I still have a round in the chamber. Now with that said, don't go around carrying a loaded handgun that's just flopping around in your fanny pack unsecured, which really not in a holster, because if you have your keys in there, if you have chapstick or something, and the items that aren't your gun in your fanny pack get moved around in such a way, you could theoretically pull the trigger with stuff moving around in there, and that's not going to be good. You're going to hurt yourself or somebody else, and not be a good steward of concealed carrying. So if you're going to carry in a fanny pack, I would highly recommend just getting yourself some sort of trigger guard like this. Just covers the trigger, so you don't have any negligent discharges or anything like that. Or you can carry with a full-on holster. So I carry in the elbow stock, just have a full holster in there, have all the attachments off of it and stuff like that, and just Velcro it in there. And we'll talk about different ways to carry in these fanny packs here soon. So I originally started with the Spiritus fanny pack and was carrying a Glock 19 with no light and the trigger guard. And you can see the trigger guard just slides over there and doesn't let anything get into that trigger well. At minimum, you should be carrying with a trigger guard. Ideally, you have a whole holster. But the way I carried in the Spiritus fanny pack is that this trigger guard, it's got some 550 cord hanging off the bottom of it. And then inside the Spiritus pack, there's some bungee in there where you could attach a cat tourniquet, normally if you're using this as a med pouch. But I just loop this 550 cord through the bungee to secure it. So that way, whenever I unzip this fanny, this trigger guard is secured to the bottom of the fanny with that 550 cord. So I can just pull the gun out and it's ready to go and it's off the trigger guard. Versus just having this unsecured in there. Now if I have to use my handgun, I've got to pull this gun out, yank the trigger guard off, and then go to work. So that's one option. That's how I carried in the Spiritus. After the Spiritus, I moved on to the Lululemon because I wanted something more discreet and non-noticeable. It worked out okay, but Lululemon being a fitness brand and not in any way connected to guns, they probably hate guns. If I knew anything about the brand, there's not many features to help you out in this fanny pack. There's no drain holes to tie to. There's only really just a little partition that's a mesh bungee pouch in there. So gun from moving around somewhat, I would just kind of stick it in the back of that mesh pouch. Now that didn't really help very much because whenever I was just walking around normally, the gun wasn't secured in there, so it would tend to tilt forward and kind of print on the front of the fanny pack when I was just walking around. Now, do I think anybody would really know that it's a gun in there? Probably not. It wasn't very secure in there, and it was printing a lot more than I wanted to for wanting to go with an incog or very discreet option. Now, around the time that I moved to the Lululemon pack, I was also experimenting with carrying with a Glock 43X. So that's what I'm carrying now in the Everly stock fanny. It's my current setup right here if I'm carrying a fanny. The Everly stock fanny pack is, they are a outdoors brand involved in the shooting sports. So theirs is more tailored to carry a handgun in. Their main pouch has backed with Velcro in there, so I just took a holster and put some hook Velcro on the back of it, and I stick the holster in there on the Velcro pad, and it's very secure. Some advantages with that is it's always in the same place, the grip is always in the same orientation, so you can get a more consistent draw and practice that grip purchase when you're at the range. Yeah, so with that said, there's a few options that you can carry with in a fanny pack. So now we'll head to the range and demonstrate what your draw times are going to look like if you're carrying appendix or inside the waistband versus carrying with a fanny pack. Alright guys, we're at the range and we're going to put our carry methods to the test and kind of get some data and see where our times fall carrying concealed versus carrying in a fanny pack. It's pretty obvious that carrying in a fanny pack is going to be a much longer draw time, but we'll see what those numbers actually look like. So I'm going to do 5 of each. I have concealed first and then the 3 fanny packs that I've been carrying in, and we'll see what happens. Shooting a USPSA target, I think we'll take a Charlie since, in a self-defense scenario, we kind of just want to get as many hits on target as we can. We'd like them to be accurate, yes, but more rounds we can put downrange, more effective rounds we can put downrange, the better. All right, from 7 yards from concealment. All right, so average draw from concealment was a 1.14 with those times. Not great, not terrible. Ideally, I'd like to be somewhere around that 1 second mark, but, hey, I need to come out here and shoot more, just like everybody else. All right, next up, we're going to try the Spiritus Fanny. Again, in the Fanny, for the Spiritus, they have these bungee loops here that normally you would put a cat tourniquet on, but I just looped the trigger guard in there so that way when I pull the gun out, the gun will come out of the trigger guard since the trigger guard's secured. So we'll see how this goes. All right, while I carry this, I generally keep the top zipper just a little bit open so it's separated so I don't accidentally grab both of them and rip it open. So, all right, 5 reps, here we go. All right, that was 438. I think that's because I'm using a 17 mag, and when I was carrying for real, I was using a 19 mag, and the 17 mag got hung up there a little bit. Let's swap mags and see if we can do better than that. All right, we got a 19 round mag, or excuse me, a Glock 19 mag in there instead of a 17 mag, so it shouldn't get caught up. We'll try this again. All right, stand by. Yeah, much better. 211. Oop. Missed the zipper there, 290. All right, one more, just to make it 5. With the 15 round mag in there, all sub 3 seconds, for an average of 2.61. It's about a second and a half longer. All right, next up is the Lululemon. Again, this one has no way of retaining the trigger guard, so it's going to be kind of weird because I'm going to have to pull the gun out, take off the trigger guard, and then fire. I love this Fanny just due to the fact that Lululemon's so popular, fitness brand. No one would ever know there's a gun in here, but it's not the best solution, and we'll prove it. All right, let's do 5 reps. Here we go. .417. That was probably my worst rep so far. Yeah, there's nothing consistent about this, trust me. It's awkward. And the kind about this, you kind of have to look down at the gun. If you're drawing concealed, you don't even look. You just grab your shirt and go. So, all right, last rep, here we go. Yeah, missed it. 487 on that one. All right, so total average for the Lulu 5 reps 4.3. So we went from 1.14 with concealed to 2.61 with the Spiritus, where we could tie down the trigger guard, and then nothing tying down the trigger guard here for the average on the Lulu 4.3. So that's the biggest reason why I stopped carrying in the Lulu and now carrying the Everly stock, the Glock 43X. Let's try it out. Again, I have my zippers kind of high, so, and usually I'll put these on the opposite side. I can't do that here, so that would be an improvement that they could make. All right, let's try it out here. All right, those times give the Everly stock an average of 2.14. So that's the best time out of the Fannies. And I think that's due to having the Velcro back, so you can put a holster and have it be secure and have a consistent draw. And obviously if I sat out here, which I need to do when I come to the range, because I do carry Fanny somewhat often, is practice drawing from concealment from the fanny pack. I could bring those times down a little bit, maybe knock about a half second off of them probably. But yeah, there you have it. Obviously, carrying inside the waistband concealed of some sort, whether that be appendix or 4 o'clock right here, is probably and definitely going to be faster than fanny pack carry. But I just wanted to show you guys a different option on how to carry and what the times would be like. You can make up that extended draw time by having good situational awareness, because even if you're concealed carrying normally, you should be aware of what's going on and any potential threats before you're caught off guard and have to use that 1 second draw real quick. So appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you on the next video.